2015 Cricket World Cup semi-final. Few hours before the match, skipper De Villiers received a message from the authorities to play unfit Vernon Philander instead of informed Kyle Abbott. Supposedly because the team was not diverse enough. Predictably so, Philander's performance fell short that day, and the team lost their best chance to etch their names forever in the history. From that initial disappointment to subsequent constant setbacks, the board is currently grappling with severe financial woes.
Has been in some form of crisis, lurching from crisis to crisis.
Cricket South Africa is back in the doldrums.
But how did it happen so fast? To understand this, we have to go way back in time. The root of all these things is the apartheid in the country, which simply means discrimination based on the color of the skin. Likewise, in other Commonwealth nations, cricket was brought to South Africa by British colonials in the 19th century, and the country made its Test debut in 1888. But there was a problem. Did you notice anything? Actually, there was no place for the non-whites. Even when other countries like West Indies, India, Pakistan became active test-playing nations, the South African government banned all matches involving teams that didn't field white players. The country was raging with racial segregation, with the non-white majority being the victim of this systemic oppression. And as the tyranny escalated, Western countries imposed multiple sanctions, and ICC handed an indefinite ban to South Africa from international cricket in 1970 due to this racist policy. However, after 21 years, upon the fall of the apartheid regime in 1991, the ban was finally lifted. Although whites constitute less than 10% of the total population of the country, they have dominated the national side even after 1991, while only a handful of non-whites have made a mark at the international level. And this prompted the South African Sports Ministry to institute transformation targets in the domestic and international cricket structure. In fact, informal quotas were already in place, so players like Kevin Pietersen, Andrew Strauss, Ryan ten Duskate, Neil Wagner left the country. But in 2016, something else happened. The cricket board rolled out its mandatory transformation targets, in which a minimum of 6 players out of the 11 had to be non-white, while at least 2 of them had to be black, and the rest 5 could be white players anyway in an international game. The new quotas definitely extended sporting opportunities to a community that has been historically disadvantaged. But the problems in the team began to escalate. A.B. de Villiers stepped down from captaincy shortly after. A bunch of Proteas including Riley Russo, Kyle Abbott, Maury Morkel, David Weasel left the national team signing Kolpak deal to play county cricket. Meanwhile, players like Devon Conway or Marnus Labuschagne chose to represent other countries. Even Philander, who was chosen ahead of Abbott in that semi-final, also slammed the board for being racist. In 2020, former Proteas captain Faf du Plessis came under fire when the team had fielded only 4 instead of the required 6 non-white players in the first 2 test matches against England. And moreover, he chose to bench the team's only black batsman, Temba Bavuma, because of his poor form. He faced massive backlash from the media, and soon he was shown the exit from the national duties. Next year, Bavuma was selected as the first ever native African white ball captain, and this decision was historic as he became the captain in the Test format too in 2023. But controversies heightened up when his poor run in the white ball cricket continued, especially in the World Cup 2023, and also partly due to some of his poor captaincy decisions, particularly in the semi-final against Australia. Critics often ask the question, has he been a proper leader anyway, and did he deserve a spot in the white ball cricket ahead of other performing players?
As a batter, I feel Bavuma has not really come to the party in this World Cup. What's going wrong with Bavuma?
Even a lower middle order batter wouldn't be happy with these numbers. An average of 18. He's captain, leading his opener as well. Temba Bavuma played when he was not 100% fit. Yeah, was it the right call? Reza Hendricks was there.
He had to play. There's a quota system. You have to play 2 black Africans.
As if the politics in the cricket board weren't enough for the downfall, South Africa cricket team is currently without any title sponsors. Their former title sponsor Standard Bank cut ties with the men's team in 2020 after 21 long years, and the next year they lost another major sponsor, Momentum. Both of these companies accused the cricket board for mismanagement of funds and misconducts, and even stated that they are not satisfied with the current state of affairs at CSA regarding governance and other reputational issues, and CSA is tarnishing their image. Along with this, the pandemic hit, and it shook the economy, and as a result, for the last several years the board is suffering massive losses. Global League T20 and Zanzi Super League were launched as South African cricket franchise leagues, but both of them failed miserably, costing the board around $30 million. But this time a familiar savior emerged. GRAEME Smith, the most successful test captain of the all-time, arrived with a lifeline, a new tournament, the SA20, that did inject much-needed funds into grassroots programs and reach rural and undeveloped areas. What's more, that money ensured the survival of the cricket board. But there is just one catch. The 6 city-based teams are owned by the foreign conglomerates that also own IPL sides. This pact has kept the lights on, but it came at a price. Cricket South Africa is no longer the master of its own destiny. So they opted to send a weekend side for the tour to New Zealand in order to keep its star players at home for the 20-over competition. The franchises in fact will have the final say whatsoever. It may well be the trend in the future for other nations also. Who knows? In the ever-evolving landscape of the game, Cricket South Africa clearly needs money. The T20 League will definitely give it to them. But is the money properly being used for grassroots development? Probably not. Self-interest and politics have continued to triumph over the best interest of cricket, at a time when the game has been crying out for stability and certainty. Administrators and politicians are hiding behind the quota system to mask their neglect at developing structures and pathways for all to get fair opportunity. Over the years, they focus neither on bringing the crowd to the game nor on making a proper and steady team. Moreover, by 2030, another slot for a black player in the national team is likely to be mandatory, so the quota system will be more of a tag for the black players. Even if they perform well, there would be debates whether his or her inclusion had been justified or not. In an ideal world, it should not have been just about achieving transformation targets, but fostering a culture where every player, regardless of their background, can thrive and contribute to the nation's sporting legacy. But here in this reality, money and power rule over everyone and everything.